First of all, thank you guys for joining. We appreciate you getting up this early to start something new. But I wanted to run through the framework so that everybody has a basic understanding of like how this is going to flow and then what the rules are for the group as well. So, morning, Sally, how are you?
Good morning.
Good to see you. All right, so this is the framework for the group. So you're basically, and you guys can write this down so you have it sealed, okay? So you're gonna read 10 pages per day, 5 turn pages front and back, okay? Super easy. After that, you're gonna reflect on your reading and how it applies to you specifically. And the main reason for doing that is because I want you guys, I want all of us to remember what it is that stuck out to us as we're reading throughout the week. We have so many things going on, different real estate transactions and whatnot. So by the time we meet next Friday, I want to be able to touch on specific things that stuck out to us throughout the week. Okay, so you're not just journaling just for you, it's also to keep it fresh in your mind. Okay. Number 3 is you're going to complete the workbook section that corresponds with the week that we're on in the book club. So if we're week 2, then you're going to complete week 2 in the workbook. If you don't complete week, or if you're not in the group for week 2, you still need to complete week 2. Okay. And then we'll discuss all of our weekly reading the following week.
Let me ask you a question. So what we're doing basically is we're going to read these 10 pages a day, 70 pages or whatever, and we're going to make notes on what he says and how it applies to us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because things that stuck out, because we might ask questions the following week, like, hey, what did you think about the week or the reading that we did the previous week? And then you're going to share how certain things stuck out to you, right? Okay. So the reason that those things are going to be written down is because I want you to have something to refer back to. So
right,
you know
exactly. Tangible. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the 3 rules for the actual book club. But as far as the group is concerned, we want to encourage referrals amongst the group, right? So if any of you guys have any deals or prospects that popped up in an area that you don't serve and one of us serves that area, you guys can refer back and forth. But there's no recruiting at all within the group. Okay? All right, so any questions on that so far? No? All right, so I'm going to share my screen and go through some of the workbook items.
Hey, Tarek, real quick. If somebody asks you about your company, you can share that, just not going actively after somebody, correct?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. This is just not a recruiting group. Like, we're not going to be in here trying to pull people into EXP, but if they inquire, I mean, you got to be honest with them, right?
Yeah.
So you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is the workbook here. And if you signed up through Eventbrite, you would have gotten the links for everything that's in that Dropbox, right? So I'm going to go over like 3 of the items there. I'm not going to go over every single thing that's in there, but these are the main things that we're going to be using and that stuck out to me. So this is the 30 Days to Better Habits workbook. And it's broken up into 4 weeks, right? So just to give you a look at what week 1 would look like lesson 1, decide the type of person that you want to be by asking yourself these questions. Who is the type of person who can achieve the outcomes that you want? So a question like that, the goal is to really go there, right, in your head. Who is it that you're trying to become? Who do you want to be? What values do you want to stand for? What principles are important for you? And the reason that he's doing this is because he wants you to almost create that person that you're trying to be, and then determine one habit that casts a small vote for becoming that type of person, right? And the key word here is small vote. So for instance, if you're saying, I want to work out more, the goal should not be, I want to work out for 2 hours every single day, right? The goal should be taking one step towards working out every day. So if that means you got to do 10 push-ups or 5 push-ups every morning, and that's your workout to get started. This is just to get you doing things consistently, and then you're able to build on that, right? So it's not overwhelming, because what we find is that when it's an overwhelming goal and it seems too far to reach and you don't break it down into smaller pieces, we tend to fail, right? All right, so in lesson 2 here, it goes into determine a scaled down 2-minute version of the habit that you chose in lesson 1. Fill out the lesson 2 template on page 15 of this workbook and determine the decisive moment for your habit. So this one was a key one. This is actually one that Jay Kinder and Michael Reese used for their clarity report. They make you, instead of doing the clarity report in your house, they make you go out to a separate location away from your office so that you can solidify that moment where you chose to make a decision and it sticks out to you in your mind forever, right? So you can always go back to, hey, I was at the coffee shop on the corner because it was, quiet. There wasn't anybody interrupting me, no kids running around or whatever. And I made my decision that I was going to change at that moment, right? So this is the framework for the workbook. There's 4 weeks, as you can see. But next week, we will be going through week 1, all right? The next thing I wanted to show you was, hold on 1 second, the habit contract. So this one's pretty cool because this is a contract that you're going to write up, right? And it gives you an example of one here. So this is Brian. His objective for Q1 is to start eating correctly again, so he feels better, looks better, and is able to hit his big, hairy, audacious goal of 200 at 10% body fat, right? So what this is basically a contract that you make with somebody else and they hold you accountable and you have to sign off on it. So you see down here, it has the signatures here. And this is the accountability. He will text Stacy a picture of his weight each day and ask Joey, who is the trainer, to monitor his eating logs. He will also give Joey $200 to use as he sees fit if he misses 1 day of logging the food. So this is perfect. This is what we want. This is accountability, right? And if we're trying to go for certain goals, we're going to need accountability in order to achieve those goals. That's why I love these groups that we're in, as a matter of fact, because I feel like we're building little communities. And by having these communities, we're able to stay consistent and fresh in our mind about the things that we want to accomplish. All right. So the last thing I wanted to show you was the habit tracker. So this is how you're going to track your habits. And I'll give you guys another option for this as well. So if you can see here, it has like the days later. I mean, you guys have seen this kind of stuff before for real estate, like making your prospecting calls or whatever, right? So I personally don't use this, right? I use a different habit tracker because it's just easier for me. I tend to lose things, so I don't like writing stuff down. I like to have them digital. But this is one thing that you could use if you're someone who likes writing things down on paper to track. But basically, you've got every single day, you've got every single month, you put your habits here on the side, and this is how you're able to track if you did them or not. You put an X on the day that you did whatever habit that you have set here, right? Now, I wanted to show you guys this as well. So this is the app that I use for tracking my habits.
So we're going to call each other out on this thing and say, did you do your habit?
Yeah.
With such a small group, we can do that. Then I need
Yeah.
somebody to run around behind me every time I go put a donut in my mouth, slap it out of my hand. Who wants to volunteer for that?
We gotta slap the beer out your hand.
I told you guys I don't even really drink any beer. It's liquor.
All right, so the app that I use is called Streaks. Hold on, trying to get it up here. All right, so as you can see, like it creates these little circles here, and you're able to put whatever habit it is, you just put it on there and it creates a bubble for it with an icon. And as you do your habit each day, you just hold down on it. Hold on. And then it turns yellow. And it also makes a sound as you do it if you have your phone turned on. But like, for instance, like that one that I just checked off was read your Bible 5 to 10 minutes a day, right?
You have one for
So-
prospecting?
Yeah. There's one right here that says prospect 3 people.
Gotcha.
What's the name of it?
It's called Streaks.
Can you spell that?
STREAKS. I'll put it in the chat too. So you
Oh,
guys-
okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
There's another one called Habit Tracker, which a lot of people have had success with as well. You guys choose what works for you. You know, whatever you guys decide to commit to, it'll work, right? Because the ultimate goal is to track our habits. But other than that, any questions you guys have in regards to how this is going to flow, or just about the book in general?
So we're going through the first 3 lessons.
Right.
For the first call will be first 3 lessons. And I would like to get this. I mean, it's a small enough group, right? I want to grow this out. And I don't know if we need to, if I edit this video down a little bit, cut the front of it out or whatever, if I can post this somewhere, where can I post this video where that if somebody came in, I don't know, next week, or they wanted to know about it, where I could get this video to them so they could kind of see the outline of what you've got set up here. Where's a good place to put that?
Should we post it in well, they would have to sign up on Eventbrite to see that, correct? If we put it in the Eventbrite?
Yeah, they'd have to see it. I don't usually where to post the link there. But I could put it to YouTube and make it a where you have to have the link to see it. We could put it on YouTube, and if somebody wanted, I guess I could text it to them or share that with them that way. It's either way, it's got to be private. You can't just go out and like Facebook or something like that, right? So it's got to be private, because, and then this thing's an evolution, so it'll change. And you know, there will be people that jump on next week that can't do it this week and knew that it would just be orientation this week that are coming next week, and then after that, you know, we'll be in the last chapter of the book and somebody will jump on. You know, so we got to kind of think about those things like we thought about a little bit before. But
Yeah.
I'll figure out a way that we can share this. That way everybody in this group can have that link, and then you can share it with anybody that talks to you. Say, hey, there's 3 videos for the first 3 weeks. You're going to shoot it out and see it if they want to see it. That's another thing that we'll see the evolution of this thing grow. Right now there's 6 people. You know, it might be 7, 8, 9 people next week. The next time or the next book might be 50 people. So that's another one of those little X boxes that you get to watch and check off. Because I think this is going to be fun. Plus, it's going to make us do what we need to be doing anyway.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because I feel like the framework for success is there. We just got to work it, right? Like if we all can commit to showing up here every Friday and reading our 10 pages, which, I mean, 10 pages, what does that take? 20, 30 minutes, maybe, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm listening to it. I'm listening to it on Audible, and then now we also have a link to it for that's free on YouTube that Eric just texted us.
Drop that. I'm going to drop that in the chat.
And where's Eric? I mean, he must have had he sent it to us 5 minutes before the call, but he didn't get on the call. So he must be sitting on the other Zoom link or something. But there's that where you can listen to it. But 2 different ways to listen to it, and there's also you know, actually reading the book. So I'm trying to hit it at least 2 different ways
Yeah.
And then, you know, as we implement and do the actual frameworks, that'll be cool too. And the next book we're thinking either will be, and this is input, right? I mean, this is a little bitty group. We can all make these decisions together. Is we're going to choose from the gap in the game, which is right here. And I think there's frameworks and stuff for it, or Gary Keller's The One Thing, which I already have the frameworks for that, because everybody seems to struggle with what's the one thing I need to get up and knock out every day. So
Right.
that's what that whole book is about, is creating momentum.
Right. And I think with this book, we don't need to overcomplicate it with our goals, right? Like if you're trying to reach, I don't know, let's say you're trying to get 50 listings, right? Start with calling 2 people a day or 1 person a day, because there's probably 1 more than we call a day already, right? And then we can build on that. The ultimate goal is okay to be a bigger goal, but it's just how do we break that down so that we can accomplish that bigger goal, right? Instead of it being super overwhelming.
Get in the car and go to the gym and turn around and come back. At least you got to the parking lot.
You went to the gym.
You went to the gym. I'm marking it off. I'm marking it off. I got there at 4:30, 4 o'clock.
Sometimes, listen, sometimes that's the momentum that some people need to get going. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean people like automatically think in their head, like, I need to go in the gym and work out for an hour and a half every single day. No, you haven't been working out at all. You know, like start with baby steps.
Or getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You got to train your body to do that. So start backing it down, 5 o'clock, 4:30, get up and you'll start getting it. So she won't talk to us. She just wants to sell us. It's funny. All right. So I'm going to figure out where we can host this so that if you guys want to share it to people, I encourage us to constantly invite to our group, constantly invite back in, and let's get some people. Let's do this and help some people and help ourselves. The more people that have eyeballs on you, say that you're going to do something, or start a meal plan, or do whatever it is, go to the gym. The more people in this group that have eyeballs on us that we know that we're letting fail, then the worse we feel. So there's more encouraging, because we feel like we lay each other down.
Yeah. And you know what else that does too is when we say we're going to do something and we turn around and actually do it, that builds our confidence, right? Instead of constantly letting ourselves down. So I think the ultimate goal here is to stay true to what we say we're going to do for ourselves. It's not even about impressing everybody else. It's more so like, how do we show up for ourselves? So I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, I'm going to build us a logo, Realtors Between the Covers. It's going to be funny. I got some ideas. I got some ideas.
Please stop looking crazy.
All right. So I'm going to kill this link. Are we done? We good? I want to make sure we're under 30 minutes every time.
Yeah, it's not going to be a long call.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to make a notebook. I'm going to print these things out, make a notebook, put some paper in it, and I'm going to keep a notebook for Realtors Between the Covers for each book. I'll just keep adding to it. Talk about a progression of momentum, man. If you flip back through that thing and say, hey, my goal is just to start getting up at 4 in the morning to get to over here where you lost 30 pounds or something, like you did on 75 hard, right? I mean, that's a huge momentum.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stopping Tarek. All right, I'm gonna kill this, and then we'll reconvene here in a minute, guys, for our partners call.
Cool. Looking forward.
All right.
To it. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining.
What's up,
Great
big man?
job, Tarek.